2024 Hyundai ELANTRA N TC racing car in VR. Hello there everybody and welcome to OPAFED Gaming. I am the OPAFED. Today we are driving a 2024 Hyundai ELANTRA in a special race called the Hyundai ELANTRA N TC one make. We're driving at the Nürburgring. We're doing one lap. We are in a pack of 10 of 10 cars. We are one of them. And we started with a rolling start. Now, it's not quite sunrise yet. As you can tell, it's fairly dark. The sun's not up yet. And the Nürburgring is a fairly lengthy lap, so it's going to take a little while to do. As we are catching up to our very first car that we are going to pass, we need to pass 9 of them if we want to win the race. Now, the Nürburgring has never been one of my most favorite tracks in the game. And I used to try and avoid it if I could, because I really didn't care for it. But you know something? I kept driving it. I wanted to get better at it, and the better I did get at driving the ring itself, the more I enjoyed it. So there is a thing to be said for that. But at the same token, this particular track has got a lot of back and forth, narrow areas where it's really hard to pass. And then it's got a couple of sections where it's straight, wide, like this here, where you have an opportunity to pass. Now, once you get on the ring itself, we're still on the outside part of it a little bit, I suppose. But near the end of this lap, on this particular track, there's a straight section. And if you battle all these cars, and when you get to that straight section, you get to the front of the pack, but your car isn't quite fast enough to outrun the other ones, they will pass you on that straight section, which is really tough. So what you want to do is you want to pass all these guys now throughout all these little corners and hard to pass sections. You have to try and get ahead of them so that you can try and build up a little bit of a buffer between the lead car and you when you get to that straight section at the end of the lap. Anyhow, we'll get there yet. It's a little ways before we get there. So we're on the Nürburgring now, and as you can see, not a lot of room to pass, but there are a few spots, and there again, if you've driven it a few times, then you start to recognize some of these areas, like this one right here. You can pass somebody here, and you just squeeze by there. But you got to remember, you got to catch up to these guys and be with them before you can even think about passing him. And then you got to make sure you make your move just before he does, because if you wait until you get all the way around the corner, he's going to take off and you still won't be able to pass him. So because this is a one make, meaning that all the cars are the Hyundai ELANTRA N TCs, they're all fairly similarly powered, which makes it even a little bit tougher to try and get to the front. But then again, the OPAFED's not going to quit until we see the checkered flag, whether we are in first or whatever position we might happen to be. But we do have a few tricks up our sleeves. We try to stick close by these guys like this. Now, you know you can't pass them there yet. Not quite enough room, so we just stay with him until we get really close, and then when you see his brake lights come on, you pound it. But there again, you got to be aware of the upcoming turn, and I lost control a little bit and slammed into the wall, but we were able to keep going. We got a couple of little dents on the outside and the passenger side door, but the mechanics can work on that later. We're not too worried about it. The car still drives great, and we are continuing the race as we're catching up to our red on the Hyundai ELANTRA here up in front of us. The sun is starting to make its appearance as it's drifting a few rays of sunshine into the cab every once in a while when we turn the right corner and face him, just like that. Absolutely beautiful. Just beautiful. Now we're slowly catching up to this guy in front of us, and we're going to do the same thing we did the last time. However, this time we're going to try not to overshoot any corners after we do pass him. So we're just going to keep an eye on for when the opportunity comes and try to keep as close to him as possible without rear-ending him, of course. And there you go. There looks like a good spot right here. You can sneak up beside him you can usually get by him. Now this guy, he didn't really want me to go by him, so he fought me off for a little bit. Well, we got by him. What you want to try and do is sneak up beside him with the nose of your car and try to push him in and just beside him and hope that you are on the inside corner for the next turn. Because it isn't going to help you if you're on the outside corner, because then you got to try and power around him, and that's probably not going to work. So you want to make sure you cut him on the inside if you can. Like right here, try and squeeze your nose in there, just like that. Now you can't move over because you know he's right beside you, and he's still there, because you can see him. There he is. He's still right beside you on the left-hand side, but you don't give up. You stick with that blue guy, and you just pretend you got like crazy glue between the two. You just stay with it. Now I do believe that these two guys in front of me are the lead cars, and we're about a little over halfway through the lap, which means that fairly quickly we're going to be coming up to that end section, that straight section. I'd like to be in front of both of these guys. Maybe right here we'll just sneak by them. That's the best way to pass them through these areas, because there's so many turns, you know, and it's very hard, especially at the speed that they're going. But that's the best way I found. Just kind of squeeze your nose in there. Once your nose is in, then they have a hard time trying to push you out of the way. So just wait for your opportunity. What a nice car. Other than that one little section where the operator lost control, this car really sits on the road nice. Look at that. You just squeeze right by him. He gave me a little bit too much room, and you could see it was straight there, and you just squeeze by him. Now what you want to make sure, because we're coming up here about 3/4 of the way through the lap, and every second we're getting closer to that long straight section, so you want to create a little bit of a buffer between that guy you just passed, the lead car, and you, because you don't want him to come back and overtake you when you're on the straights. But you also got to be careful here that you keep control of your car, that you don't run off the track. You want to stay on the track. Obviously, you don't want to slam into the walls. You don't want to lose any time. Basically, you want to increase your time. And if going a little bit slower is the way to do it, then that's the way you should do it. Now, keep an eye on them in your rearview mirror, and then you can tell if you're actually gaining some time on them. Because of course, when we're driving in VR, we don't have the display on, so we don't have the advantage of knowing what the gap distance is between him and us. So we keep an eye on him in the rearview mirror, and I can't see him. Well, I can't see him in the side mirror. I don't see him in the rearview mirror. So I think we got a decent buffer on him, which none too soon, because we're coming up on that straight section here pretty quick. And that part goes by really fast because you just open it up and let it go. You don't have to hold it back. So that's going to rip by really quickly, and then we'll be at the end of the lap. That's why if you have a fast car on a track that slows down on the corners, but on the straights you have trouble staying in front of, you want to make sure that you got a little bit of a buffer zone, because if they pass you, you won't catch up to them again, because obviously they're faster than you. You won't be able to catch that back up. So we create a buffer, we get far enough ahead of them, and as we round the corner, we should be coming up. Well, no, not just yet. No, this is the straight section. Here we go. So now you look in the rearview mirror, and I can't see anybody. I don't think I see anybody on the track, so we're just gonna let her rip. You got a gentle curve up at the crest in front of you, and then you're almost at the finish line. Absolutely awesome. I really enjoyed the Nürburgring this time. You know, it started to become a better track for the OpaFed. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope to see you back at OpaFed Gaming again. Until then, you've been ripping around on the Nürburgring with the OpaFed in a 2024 Hyundai ELANTRA N TC in VR.